Sorry for the matte looking hair, it's kind of insane, but the finale of Loki just happened and I figured we'd do a double feature here. Yesterday I did the Marvels review, today I'm gonna do this Loki Season 2 finale review. I'm gonna talk in detail about it because there are things that I want to discuss and I can't without getting into spoilers, so spoiler warning in case you haven't seen the episode as of yet, that I'm gonna talk in detail about it. So this is a one take. Last time we saw that Loki somehow managed to control the time slipping. He found a way to do so by focusing in on the thing that he's really after, and hopefully that can help fix the situation that episode 4 left us in, with the entire TVA being destroyed and everything coming to an end. Now there are a couple of things that I feel like were inevitable. At some point we were going to address the fact that all of this happened because of a very catastrophic event at the end of season 1, that being the death of He Who Remains. So I feel like at some point they had to think about going back to that moment. But that doesn't mean there aren't a lot of opportunities before that to try and make episode 4's ending work. And that means going back in time over and over again and trying to get Victor Timely over to the multiplier area and, be able to set that up properly so that the rings can expand and it can, take in the rest of the timelines. They do make that happen eventually after thousands of tries, and Loki even going back centuries so that he can learn pretty much everything that he can on time distillation and make this following thing happen. And yes, it's a success for about 15 seconds, and then after that it just implodes anyway. And the reason is because that's a failsafe. It's there to protect the sacred timeline. So either way, whatever happens, that was going to happen because the thing that was protecting the sacred timeline, that being He Who Remains, is gone. And so eventually it comes down to a huge decision. What does Loki do in order to protect the sacred timeline? Does he kill Sylvie, or does he just let the inevitable, which is the destruction of everything, happen? Either way, there is a loss in that situation. However, he does manage to find a solution, not a situation. He does go back to a certain point, though, where I feel like he gets some really profound answers. He talks to Mobius and Sylvie, well, apparently one last time, because this would involve a very gigantic undertaking. And now that he has these powers on lock, hopefully it could make him do something that could solve all of the problems. But Victor Timely might not be the solution, he might be the solution. And after those profound talks that he has, and one of them including that, well, I might have to kill you, Sylvie, eventually he decides, you know what, Victor isn't going out there, nothing's gonna happen to any of these people, I want to protect all of them, but I have to find a way to fix it nonetheless. And he goes out without a suit, outside into that entire, temporal loom destruction area. He's getting blown back and ripped apart, but he keeps regrowing, and eventually his clothes turn into god clothes, like God of Stories or whatever, and eventually he's able to use that to explode the temporal loom. And as the branches are dying, he manages to grab onto them and resuscitate them, I would say, in the best way, or resurrect them, however you want to look at it. The episode's called Glorious Purpose for a reason. And that's exactly what's going on over here. It's all about the fact that all of these things that have been happening with Loki, what is the thing that could potentially bring him to a point where, the best things have to happen. You know what, I'm going to put the light up here a little bit more. Okay, there we go, perfect. And one thing that could potentially, help with that is finding out where this leads, because either way, Loki's life story on the sacred timeline, there is one that is known. However, play it out a different way, he could probably do this. The multiverse is already unraveled. There are variants of Kang out there already. There's already stuff going on. At the episode's ending, at one point, there's a talk of one that caused a ruckus on in a 616 alternate universe thing, which seems to hint at Quantumania, so I guess that's that. But there is still going to be some of that stuff, some of the straggling variants that are around, which is quite a few of them still. But at the same time, it just means that he can save all of those multiple timelines instead of letting billions of lives die in the process. And he eventually becomes the new He Who Remains, and He's got the entire thing under control. All of these timelines, all of these branches. The TVA goes back to normal, and Mobius quits because he's like, I've seen enough. I want to see what my life could have been. And he manages to go back to the world where Dawn is with his jet skis and kids and sees what life he could have had. And decides, well, I'm going to let time pass a little bit, see what comes next. Sylvie goes wherever she wants to go. It seems like Renslayer is trapped with Alioth and she's done for. So that's disappointing, I guess, for her, but that's about that. And it seems like for now we're done when it comes to Loki's story. I'm sure at some point of time we're gonna get back to this, where we're going to address what's going on, because we're still dealing with the multiverse, so I feel like there's a little more to be done here at some point. I don't know when that's gonna be, but I mean, there's gonna be some moments. But for now, we can officially say that we've got a very good story over here, and we've got some catharsis with Loki's arc. I wonder what everybody thought of it, because a lot happens in the last 20 minutes or so. It gets really, really crazy. And I understand there's a lot of whiplash when it comes to this particular episode in terms of just the, chaotic disaster taking place in front of you. Visually dazzling one at that, though. It looks incredible, and Natalie Holt goes crazy with the score once again. Great performances, too, including in episode 5, which I did a short of, but the last 2 episodes have been very unpredictable, and they've done some really great things, and I really enjoyed my time with Loki Season 2. I think they've done a really great job with this show all through. I think this one really did nail the landing over here when it came to this finale. And since we have a double feature of this and the Marvels this weekend, I mean, I would say it's a pretty fun weekend for Marvel. I know the Marvels is getting some more positive than negative, but it's still mixed responses. But I'm curious to hear what people think of it. It was a fun enough movie, albeit a bit flawed. But I would say that with this, it's pretty great. And there are directions where things are going now with the MCU that I am very curious to see what those are going to be after this past week. So I'm looking forward to all of that stuff, and I can't wait to see what happens next. And overall, I thought Loki Season 2 was really great. I loved the first 4 episodes. I've loved the last 2 episodes. I think it's a hair better than the first season. I think it came together very well. I still think there are some issues in, jumping around certain things. Like, early on in the season, we have some moments where it just feels like we speed run those. But overall, I'm very satisfied with it. And I am looking forward to seeing what else happens after this. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you guys thought of the finale in the comments down below. Did you enjoy yourselves? Would you like to have seen something more? Let me know accordingly. I'm looking forward to those conversations. As always, if you like this, please do subscribe. And I will see you guys in the movies.